All right. So let us talk about LCS and the changes that are coming in, because there were a lot of them in an announcement. And by the way, I do want to credit Mark Z. It is a million times better to have this guy in front of a camera properly messaging this stuff. Even if I have criticized him in the past, even if I don't agree with him, this is way, 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 way better than it was previously. So there you go. We have a best of 3 announcement, which of course he was very careful to say, like, you know, we may not have best of 3s in the future, guys. This is who knows what's going to happen. We're testing it to get data right now. And also I'll notice he got in front of things already and said, like, we're going to be comparing this to, you know, a year ago previous summer splits, because obviously we know typically for League of Legends viewership is lower in the summer. So he's basically just preempting the fact that there is going to be, obviously, as there always has been, less viewership for the summer season than the spring season.
If they don't like it, they just go, oh, it was bloody best of 3s that attacked the viewership. Well, we won't do that again. Meanwhile, it just went down anyway, like you say. Yeah.
Well, they did say they'd be, you know, they'll be kind of like trying to one-to-one compare it to other summer splits, right? Even though it is obvious to, and I do have to go on a rant about this real quick, because, by the way, when I started asking at the end, I know people are loving, definitely not sick of hearing my LCS viewership rants, but basically Mark Z decided to just, when I started asking questions about, did North American fan viewership go up or down, when they were trumpeting the fact that, oh, we got like 5% more viewership. I said, did North America, because obviously the answer, guys, is with the co-streams, everything like that, with the other language co-streams, with everything, it was clearly the answer was North American viewership went down, because when you have a bunch of Brazilian fans, and they were saying, well, there always were a bunch of Brazilian fans, they just moved over to Baiano's stream. There were more, obviously. Cajal is more than 50% EU viewers, guys. Probably like 2/3 EU viewers, if we're being honest. Simply because there are just more EU viewers these days, because shit is dead in North America and there are no new players of League of Legends, and ergo there are no new viewers, because you are never going to watch this game with 170 champions and bother to learn it if you're not playing it. So no new players, no new viewers. Anyway, you know, basically one of the really disingenuous things he said was this. Well, it's always like they're trying to move the goalposts about viewership. Well, first off, it was that it was going down, and then now it's that, oh, it's not North America. No, Mark Z, let me explain this to you. You are the commissioner of a league. The questions are about the health of your league. It's not moving the goalpost. The goalpost is LCS healthy? And we didn't have data before on potential geographies of viewership to ask questions about, because you just opened up the co-streaming to these other people.
The point you always
I couldn't ask that question previously.
In your famous rant about viewership, the point he's missing, but he isn't, he's intentionally ignoring it, is the reason why just raw viewership doesn't matter is because if I'm a North American brand who sponsors the LCS, I gain nothing from a Chinese viewer. He might not even, if he's in China, be able to pay for my product. It might even be possible. So you are right, Monty. If the viewership goes up, but essentially it's people from South America or China, and I'm literally like, I'll pick a random one, like Popeye's chicken in fucking Louisiana, that ain't helping me. In fact, actually, you could even argue you're almost selling me a false bill of goods that you're telling me you've got all this viewership. It's not going to buy my product, you know?
Well, even if, let's just say, so the LCS has Kia now. Even if, you know, there is value to these other sponsors, you'd have to say, what is the odds that somebody in Brazil buys a Kia? Or let's say there's an international brand that comes in. So not Popeyes, but like KFC, okay?
Yeah, sure.
But the thing is, KFC is sold for significantly less money in Brazil, and certainly there are lesser costs associated with that, but the profit per person per KFC order is probably significantly less in Brazil than it is in the United States of America or Canada, where LCS is based. And also, all of these are regionalized marketing costs, where that money is frequently coming out of the U.S. budget for that company, and these people do not give a shit how much of that product is sent in Brazil, because that's not their job. It's not their job to give a shit about that. And by the way, what I care about, is not only the health of the LCS, but I care about the health of the LCS teams because, again, the teams have been the biggest losers. The players won because they got a bunch of venture capital. Riot won because they sold a bunch of skins and never told anybody how much money they made or shared any of that money. And if the marketing exercise was not effective, guys, riddle me this. Why did they do it in Valorant? Why did they do it in Valorant? They never had to do it in Valorant. Clearly, they think that the ROI, the return on investment of esports is very worth it, or they never would have created a Valorant circuit. So they have the data that says this worked very well in League of Legends. This made us a bunch of money via the marketing efforts. And so we are going to do it again in-house. Now, you might ask yourself, well, Monty, why did you say they wanted to outsource it to ESL? Because what if they could just control the marketing effort 100%? And basically just get the Saudis to pay for it because then they make even more money. So it's a good idea, right? ESL, the Saudi government does not care about making money right now on this stuff. They care about PR and they care about making money eventually because they're playing a very long game. So there are lots of reasons why this could be the case and why it could eventually happen. It consolidates a lot of control over the esports. I mean, they already own Counter-Strike, basically. Like, Blast is, like, sitting there, and I guess, like, PGL is kind of there doing some majors, but for the most part, they already control the entire Counter-Strike circuit. They've been sinking their claws into the Dota circuit. They own Overwatch now that Overwatch League is dead. There's a lot of things that, and it's clear that dominance is the goal. And so, wouldn't surprise me if they took on League of Legends simply to get that audience and that market share as part of a long-term play. But when we talk about LCS, like, I care about how the teams do, and the teams, and you'll notice they signed a new team agreement that includes a flat stipend instead of a revenue share stipend. I wonder why they could do that. It's almost like revenue might be going down because viewership is going down and because maybe sponsors aren't interested in an audience that, and I'm not shitting you, might be more than 50% not North American at this point in time. There's a real possibility that it is over 50% not North American now, based on the numbers that have been coming in. And of course they just accuse people of moving the goalposts. And it's like, you are clueless. Like, first off, this is just a stupid argument that you're making. And second off, it's not moving the goalposts. The question is, you guys don't give data. So we're asking questions based on available data. And the goalpost is, are the teams, and is the league more healthy than it was previously? The answer is clearly no. And so here's what's going to happen, guys. They're going to make it America's. I keep saying this. They're going to merge it with Brazil and they're going to merge it with LLA. They will do this. They will do this. The guy who runs League for Americas is Brazilian and comes from CBLOL. He will do this. He will do it. Maybe they'll do it next year. It might be next year, guys. I don't know. Probably it's going to be next year. It'll be the year after, if not that, because it's the only way to save the LCS viewership, because it is in a death spiral right now, and because there are no people in North America that are playing it, and the only way to generate some sort of hype is to have that interregional competition. And you know what, Thorin? I welcome this. I think it'll make the Brazilian teams maybe more competitive. I think it would be fun to have North American rosters versus Brazilian rosters. I think it's good. Now, the Brazilian fans probably don't like this, but I think it's the way.
They don't like anything, mate. So
that's true.
They don't like anything. I've learned that all through hard-fought experience. By the way, I also just think the problem I have with Mark C's statement, and by the way, miss me with this angle, Monty, that people are going to take of like, well, Mark C didn't show that. He didn't work for Riot at the time. His job is to represent Riot, and he is speaking with like a collective we about Riot and its history in the LCS. So he is absolutely embodying. He essentially is the physical avatar of the LCS, which isn't some sort of cynical fucking like way of saying it or whatever. Like, he isn't literally like in that sense. I mean, the metaphorical, obviously, right? Here's my problem. When he presented BO3 as the solution, Monty, he did exactly what I hate to my fucking core about Riot Games employees. He gaslit you by telling you every argument you've made for best of threes as if they were like new arguments that they've just realized now, as opposed to things they denied or outright refused to listen to for years. So here are some things he said. He said, first of all, that by changing to best of threes, this was part of a fan-first approach that Riot's now taking in 2024, right? I'm I'm so bored of Riot just deciding what they want and then reverse engineering whether they need to say it's a player-focused approach or a fan-focused approach to do whatever they wanted anyway. So Monty, you know all those like 10 plus years where Riot was a player-first company? It's now a fan-first company. What does that even mean? It means nothing. Like, you're not doing anything fans or players ask for. You're just doing it and then deciding in this, because in this scenario, Monty, I'll tell you the reason they've said fan-first. Are you ready for me to translate that immediately? They know that a pro player, remember guys, in 2020, the motherfuckers that play in the LCS were like, oh, COVID, can we just cancel the split? We'll get paid still. These motherfuckers don't even want to play their professional game. So the reason I think he said fan first, Monty, is because players probably don't want best of threes. Players are probably dumb enough in America to be like, so I get paid the same money for playing more games. Like, so I actually think he's, believe it or not, being cynical, but slightly smart by saying fan first on that. Then he has the goal to give all the fucking reasons that always made sense for this. Like, you can focus on a single opponent instead of like 2 or 3, which obviously waters down your preparation efforts. You can make mid-series adaptations. I like the way he's saying this in 2024. Like, in 2024, we've just discovered you can have mid-series adaptations. Like, I've been watching Dota for fucking like 13 years or something when they'd be doing that. Then how about this one? He even has the goal, Monty, to point out, one, viewership might go down initially when you do that. Last time you did it, that justified taking it away. Why does that suddenly not work? And then secondly, this one almost made me throw up. He had the goal to point out that they did this before. Are you ready, Monty? And it failed. But instead of taking the conclusion we've been told for years by Freak and all them fucks, that it failed because of best of 3, he points out that dual streams might have had something to do with it. I can't fucking handle this announcement because it's like I'm actually being gaslit about what happened for the last... You'd think from this that I was the one saying keep best of ones and then they're like finally winning me over. Like, we've been saying all these arguments for fucking years, bro. And he even at the end put in some absolute bullshit, which is he said that it makes the perfect... He said the reason this, are you ready, Monty, isn't just a good time, it's the ideal time. Season 14 is the ideal time to bring best of these. Are you ready? Because, are you ready to again spin an obvious negative into a positive? Because 2 teams just left the fucking league, it's better now because there's less matches, right? 1, that makes no sense. If it's brilliant to have best of 3s because you get more of the good matches, it's better with more teams. And are you ready for the ultimate reason why? Because the LPL has 17 teams. So how does the LPL do it with 17? Now, admittedly, they've just done a group system where they actually are switching their format up. But how did the LPL for years have the best league with 17 teams in a single... Same format, single round robin of best of 3. So as usual, it's the usual Riot fucking bullshit where even though that was like 2 minutes I just broke down there, the amount of shit stacked behind and between the sentences there was bonkers, mate. It's bonkers. What do you think?
No, I look, I'm glad it's happening. But it is
infuriating. Of course, it's going to be way better. It's going to be way better,
well,
yeah.
I mean, my reaction to the thing where it's like, we decided that 2024 was focused on the fans. You are an entertainment sports product. What were you focused on earlier?
I've always been, surely. Yeah, exactly.
So it's a tacit admission that literally all other seasons of the LCS were never about the fans. Like, by the way, if that's true, fire everyone that was ever associated with leadership of the LCS. Oh, wait, you promoted all those people? Weird. It's almost like
We've heard your concerns, and in our 14th year doing this, now that none of you watch anymore, we've decided to make it all about you watching. It's talking about. I love it.
I mean,
by the way, here's where they could kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Hire that woman from Team Liquid to now get mad at us for getting mad at you. Have her actual job be literal Riot Karen. That should be her tagline, Riot Karen, and she just walk scolds us for everything we say that we're not wrong. By the way, here's the genius. She could actually. Here's the thing. I actually want her to not even be in good faith, Monty. Just be like super single. Just say some shit like that. We're like mansplaining formats or something to Riot. Like, just pull some fucked up angle to silence us already. Just do it already, motherfucker. Do it, motherfucker.
Well, it's also like, usually Riot will pretend that they invented something that was invented previously in esports, but now they're pretending they invented it when all the other regions have been running best of 3s, some of them for many years now. And so now we just have this, and it was always the answer, guys. It was always the answer. And they're starting to do fearless draft, even in best of 5 in what, the Challenger League, what is it? I forget what it's called.
NACL.
NACL. And like,
speaking of which, by the way, he also says at the beginning of the video, and I've got some really hype news for it. There's no, like, by definition, there's no such thing as hype news for the NACL. Nobody watches the NACL. By the way, get a million shitter fucking like, are you ready to really get upset people? Get a million shitter fucking teenage adult pulp fiction writers that Travis likes to invest as much as you want. Get as many shitter dickhead fucking influencers like Disguised Toast. Get them all in that league. Nobody watches your main league, dickhead. Nobody is watching NACL. Well, we now also established you don't make any fucking money. Like, nobody's watching it, bro. Nobody's watching. There's no such thing as hype news around that. The hype news would be we've closed it down and we're doing something better. There's the hype news.
I mean, it's also that, like, you know, Brandon Sanderson or whatever his name is partnering with Maryville University, which is great for Maryville, but it's basically like the way they're like, oh yeah, now we're going to call, now it's like the celebrity league where we're going to get celebrities who, you know, maybe they're going to attach their name to this, but they don't know how to operate an esports team. So they're just going to pay the other team. And like, good for Maryville. Like, honestly, they're giving kids full ride scholarships. Like, sure, slap a fantasy author's name on there. I don't care. That's great. Shout out to Maryville. Great job. You know, take the money, take the bag.
Basically, make the whole league a celebrity. Make it like the GGL hip hop gaming league. So I want it to be like iShow Speed has the Ronaldos. We've got fucking XQC. Don't even know what you have in fucking room temperatures or some IQs. I don't know.
But again, Thorin, here's the thing. Remember when Mr. Beast, literally the biggest YouTuber in the entire world, wanted to run a tournament in the off season?
Oh, true. Yep.
And they wouldn't let Bjergsen and Double Lift go. So the same company that made that decision is now like, we love celebrities. It's like, so why didn't you do that? Why didn't you fire the person who made that decision?
Yes.
Like, because clearly all they do is 180 all the time. Why are we in best of threes now? If best of threes are successful, why are you not getting rid of the dumbasses?
In the comments of this video, post your best fake celebrity team name. So it could be like the Snoop Dogg for Shizzles, you know. I didn't say the rest of that. Get you cancelled, but you get the premise. Just come up with your own. The fucking, I guess you could have the Diddy's Lost Boys.
Jesus.
The Drake never beating the allegations. Not bad. Got some pretty good ones there. You put your own. You come up with your own and put it in the comments below.
But I just wonder, Thorin, because again, remember the kids don't play this game. There was never going to be a better chance than Mr. Beast, and they fucking fumbled it. And so I just don't understand who they think they're going to get.
The idea. I agree. What's the target demographic? So people who read Brandon Sanderson or whatever his fucking name's books, they're going to go, I better get watching, not even, by the way, not even good league, LCK, not even the LCS. I'm going to start watching NACL. It's so implausible a premise. It's insane. I know. It's actually mental. There's no way. There's no overlap at all there. The joke is, the only person who reads those books and cares about league is Travis, and he already watched, well, the joke is even he doesn't watch NACL. So there you go. Case closed. That was your perfect demographic. That was the only Venn diagram overlap. The center of the Venn diagram is just Travis, and even he doesn't watch NACL. Enough said.
So I just don't understand what the purpose of this is. And like, if you're going to do the celebrity thing, you already missed the boat on that one. You missed it. That was years ago. That was pre like Drake and Ninja playing Fortnite together. Like, what year do you think this is? This isn't 2015 anymore. It's 2024. Nobody watches LCS. You are in a fucking death spiral. This doesn't save anything.
Oh, bro, I've just thought up the great idea. Here's what you actually should have done for real. Like you say, about 6-7 years ago, this is what you should have done with Academy. You should have actually offered Academy. No, fuck buying it. You should have offered Academy slots to famous streamers. By the way, even people like Dom, have them have their team, and then they co-stream the fucking NACL. That's a fucking bagger idea right there, man.
It would be great.
It's too late now, though. But yeah.
I mean, think about like the wars that big streamers could have if you actually injected their personality.
It would basically be like the ultimate version of the like sub wars, wouldn't it?
We already saw that with like Cadril versus Dom on the whole the Shy thing. It was fun. Yeah, people like enjoy. I enjoyed that. You could do that with actual, you know, up and coming teams. Plus, you've got like Ibai and Kometo and people to throw in there. Like, could be way more entertaining. Plus, Thorin, amazingly, that actually caters to your core audience. weird instead of just trying to get some random people from the outside to, by the way, eventually these people are going to be tired of wasting their money in your ecosystem because you don't offer any path to sustainability. And Disguised Toast has been out there saying that he loses money on this shit. Like, why is he just going to bleed money till the end of time? You know who might have done that actually is Mr. Beast, because Mr. Beast actually does love League of Legends, guys.
By the way, that's what I actually love, though, because the funniest thing, if you remember, was first of all, the Disguised Tosh guy came in, Monty, and flexed about how he was doing all these things for his team and his players that like other orgs don't, and then turned around and was like, "What the hell? I'm losing all money doing this." Like, yeah, no shit. No, yeah, that's why they all were complaining the whole time. You're dumb for what? What are you talking about? Yeah, we all know that. Because remember, all those fans were like, hey, it can't be that hard to run a team. Disguised Toast is doing it in NSC. And then he just turned around like, I'm losing $1 million a year. Like, I love it. I fucking love it. Or whatever it was. I mean, I might have made that number up.
I think you could even nostalgia bait a bunch of people who used to, like, Skara is a relatively big streamer now and has had nothing to do with League of Legends for years, but you could probably get him to like come back to some of this stuff. Pobelter's a pretty big streamer in League of Legends.
Why not just get all the legends? Get fucking Void Boy, Dyrus, fucking Skara. You get all the legends to come back.
Cutie Pie's been streaming League of Legends again recently. Like, you could actually do some really cool stuff with the streamers that you have that would probably be much more, like, if you want to talk about ways to pull back your fan base, I think a lot of people who haven't watched League of Legends in years would be like, oh, Cutie Pie is a team and he's going to be talking smack against, like, I don't know, Skara's team, and they were teammates from back in the day. That actually sounds entertaining. It does sound entertaining. You could make some really good content around that.
Or just go mega cynical and basically make NACL, instead of being about up and coming talent, there isn't any. That's the joke. You just make it like the fucking, what do you call it? Like the Legends League, like the fucking senior PGA Golf Tour or something. Just make it actually Void Boy against Skara, against Dyrus, against the odd one or whatever. Why not? At this point, why not, mate? Why not have like the whole Hotshot GG just come back? Just fucking do it. Make Hotshot GG, St. Vicious and Shouts to play together and stream the core stream. I mean, there's your viewership solution. That would get so many views.
As usual, the Koreans are way ahead of this because the Koreans have actually been playing show matches with like Captain Jack and a bunch of their analysts on the Korean desk. They've been playing show matches against teams, which has been like pretty funny. So basically, a lot of those guys who are now on the LCK broadcast as analysts have been getting together and like playing show matches as shoulder content for the LCK. So it's like the old legends. I think I saw that they're playing against Carmine Corp maybe later this year as well. So there might be some. I think that's what I saw. I think there's some fun stuff to do there as well. So anyway, I think there are a lot of things. Look, I'm glad we have the best of threes coming back. At the end of the day, like, it's the right decision. And you know what's so annoying? Like, why we rage about this, guys, is it's annoying that Riot spends years and years and years and years and years making the wrong decision. And instead of just saying like, oh, we're changing this, they have to give you a bunch of bullshit on top of that about how it wasn't possible for it, even though it obviously was. And they have to justify it in the world's weirdest and most infuriating ways. It's like, just change it and don't say anything. How fucking hard is it? How fucking hard is it just to be like, guys, we realize that this is just the best for League of Legends. And you're like, great. I agree. Why did it take you so long? Oh, well, we couldn't do that. Just don't say anything. Why do we have to say anything about this? I don't understand. I don't understand why we have to be out there trumpeting a tiny viewership increase while not answering any other questions about where that viewer increase came from. It's just so, the problem with Riot is they're just so disingenuous and they just lie all the time. So it becomes impossible to take anything that they say at face value or that they actually are in good faith. It's like, we're releasing this Hall of Legends. Surprise, $500 skin. Not a cash grab, by the way. It's like, fuck you. Like, why can't we just do something right one time? Well, they did MSI right, so I guess we got that.
They got one.
It took a long time. It took almost 10 years, but we got there. It took 8 years or 7 years of MSI.
Oh, by the way, the one thing is, I can't remember, it's like a week ago I looked this up, but I think, unfortunately, I believe if you check that, it did imply that the format for the Esports World Cup is just single elim, though. I think it was implied somewhere in the post.
Oh, okay.
I
mean, they only have a week for the tournament, and teams have to travel internationally, so I don't know how they could have a lot of time for a really cool format. That's the problem.
I mean, I will say, when they did Gamers 8 in CS last year, it was just a single elimination bracket. It was just one bracket. You just started. So if you lost in the first round, you just went home after one match. So I wonder if it's just going to be something similar. Maybe it is.
Yeah, I mean, they'll probably seed it in a way where, like, you know, it'll be seeded probably very similarly to MSI, where it's like you can't be in the same side of the bracket as your own region, which will probably produce just many of the same matchups at MSI, which, you know, I'm not upset about.
No, it's all good. What people forget is this, Monty. The same matchups are only a problem if you only get one tournament a year and it's single them and then they're done after that. Like, no one wants G2 and Fnatic to go to Worlds, play each other, then the one losing, and that's it for the year. But if you have multiple international tournaments, it's fine for them to meet once or twice, of course. Yeah, it's totally fine at that point.
See more cool, funny, interesting clips based on topics from my content? Well, subscribe to this channel then, or, you know, be a pleb and don't.